The word web documentary is first about documentary. So, and actually today in 2012, I think we don't need to use again the word web documentary. Let's call it documentary. And just the difference is how do you tell your story? If you tell your story for the TV, you have a certain way of making the story. Like the director for TV is not the same way that the director for theater. It's not the same way than for the radio, and it's obviously it's not the same way for, on the internet. So of course, if you want to tell a story on the internet, you have to understand how to tell the story on the internet. So there are different formats that we have explored. One is tell a big story by mixing short film, and it's no beginning, no ends, different path inside the program. Each user has a different way, but still always a very strong content. And one of the example of that is Gaza Sderot, and which is a program that we have produced in 2008. The concept is we follow 6 characters on each side of the border, 6 characters in Gaza, Gaza city, in the Gaza Strip, and 6 characters in Sderot, which is a small town close to Gaza, and this is like, I don't know the word in English, but this is I mean, telling a story by episode is something which is not new. This is something that has happened on TV a lot of time, but the way we have put it online, it's quite new. Because the concept was showing both sides at the same time, we imagine an interface that allowed the people to cross the border very easily and to watch one movie and the other in a very effective way. And when I say no beginning, no end, is because you have several paths and several ways to navigate. You can follow the timeline, the chronological aspect of the story, but you can break the chronological and just stop with one character. But you can break that and go for navigate by maps and plan, because this is the question of this story: maps, territories, and also by keyword, etc. You can make your own way and your own journey inside the program. And the idea, and it's like for director in fiction, it's a question of artistic, of direction. When we make interface, when we make graphism, we try to make this graphism, this interface, telling already the story, and that's very efficient in Gaza Sderot. Another format is Prison Valley, which is totally different, which is a long story, like an hour story, very classical way to tell the story, but the story breaks at some point, and we involve a lot the user. For instance, when we arrive at the beginning of the movie, when we arrive at the hotel, we ask the people to register at the hotel, and the name of the user is written inside the program, and now the user can feel that he's not alone inside the program, that he can interact with the other people watching at the same time the program. And during his time, his duration of screening, he will be able to win. Let's say win. Don't be afraid to say win. He will have access to several different content, bonuses, services, way to discuss with people, ask questions to the protagonist of the story, etc. Maps, numbers, figures. And it's like an augmented documentary. This is a classical documentary, and plus, if you are interested in it, you can spend 3 hours. You can ask questions to director, ask questions to people watching at the same time, etc., etc. And yes, in this case, in this program, Prison Valley, the topic of Prison Valley is the jail industry in the USA. And it's about capitalism. It's about aggressive capitalism, and yes, there is some video games inside, in the way we reproduce it. And there was a point in the masterclass, and this is a question: if you use video game aspect in documentary, is it maybe this is dangerous for the story? maybe this is dangerous for the content. I say no, absolutely no. I think the quality of the story is depending of the director, is depending of the authors. And in that case, Prison Valley, Philippe Brault and David Dufresne are very, very experienced people in the documentary and in journalism. And the quality of the content that they have realized is just at the top of the investigation. And it's not because we put some video game aspect inside that the content is not good. And this is something very interesting because this is something I hear a lot of time. People are afraid that the form impacts on the story. I think this is absolutely not the case. And I think a content could be good on the paper and is also good on the screen. I mean, and I wanted to answer, maybe are you afraid that one day we will use music on the internet? I think it's done. Maybe we will use press on the internet. I think it's done. Same for fiction, same for documentary. So there is, I mean, no choice. And I think that web documentary, theater, TV, it will always existed, but in parallel. And I'm really, yes, involved and excited by continue this job of exploring new way of telling the stories adapted to the internet.